We know the various defences that can be presented in courtrooms around the world, and they can range from I wasn't there, I have an alibi, I'm insane, it was self-defence, it was my other personality. Let's talk defence and the cases where it's just a case of cross your fingers and hope to God a jury and a judge will buy it. Welcome to Extraordinary Stories Podcast. Hey, how are you? Are you well? Are you good? I am. Alright, on to the next part of the defence. Rests, Your Honour. Quickly, a couple of shout outs and then on with it. Hello to Julianne Mellifont. Julianne, you posted this week in the Facebook group that you were sad that you had caught up on all of the Extraordinary Stories episodes. Don't be sad. There's more to come. There's more coming your way. You can always go back, re-listen. But there's more coming in your direction. Mandy McDonald, hello. Hello, Mandy. Tobias Anderson, hello, my friend. Hello, Tobias. And Donna Spratt. Hello. How are you, Donna? Alright, this carries on the defence theories theme that I'm looking at. This first one, it's an odd one, and one which led to a change in the law. Are you ready? Okay, let's go. In 1999 in New York, a terrible, tragic event was going to take place on the New York subway. The New York subway, by the way, if you've never been on it, it is quite the place. It's quite interesting. I went to New York in January of this year, and when I got there, I got off the plane, whatever, and I had to get the subway from the airport into the city. And I was just kind of like really overwhelmed. It was just absolutely mental. Literally, I'm like sitting on the subway and I'm like, la la la, I've got my suitcase and I'm ready for New York. Da, da, da. And this like guy gets on and he like literally whips out a keyboard, right, on a stand. Like within about 5 seconds, he's got this like boom keyboard on a stand, and he just like plays this really jaunty tune that's like dun, 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 and he's singing to everyone in the carriage. Before it even reaches the next stop, he's like put it all away, packed it all up, got it over his shoulder, and he's going around with his hat like, money, give me. It was like fine, so I'm like just like throwing whatever kind of money I had on. And I just thought, what an absolutely what a mental life that is. If you're literally within the space of like one stop to the next stop, he's like, get on, get your stuff whipped out, play a quick tune, on to the next one, whatever. Just like absolutely mad. And just like people walking around selling you fruit 2 in the morning out of like a bag. Hello, I've got a bag of apples. Do you want some? Oh, well, okay. Thanks very much. Anyway, so Kendra Webdale was a 33-year-old photographer and journalist, and she was just beginning her day. She was heading to a meeting where she had to travel by subway to get there. So she enters the New York subway and she is standing, waiting close to the platform, and she's reading a newspaper. Now, Kendra was a bright, ambitious, and a very driven woman. She was doing really well in her career. She'd started to write for various different magazines, and it was looking like she had a really bright future in journalism ahead of her. Now, someone else enters the subway that morning. 29-year-old Andrew Goldstein, an academic living in New York who had studied at Brown University. He enters the subway that day. Small side note here. Again, just another tangent. I worked with a girl, recently, who is from Scotland, and she went on a college exchange to Brown in New York for a month. And I know Brown is really prestigious, right? I get that. I get it, it's really prestigious. It's like your Harvards, your Oxfords of the world. But oh my God, if I had to hear from her one more time, yeah, well, when I was studying at Brown, I was like, you're there for 4 weeks. She was like, every set. Do you know one of those things that were when someone wants to keep reminding you of something and they manage to start every sentence with going, well, yeah, when I was studying at Brown, it was a bit like this. And I just wanted to be like, shut up. You were there for 4 weeks. I don't mean that's yeah, great that she was there. And I was like, get over yourself. Get fucking over it, because I hate that. I hate that snobbery around, oh yeah, I studied here and this is my place of work. Oh, shut up. I just don't have time for that. I just do not have time for it. Anyway, that's a whole other thing. Anyway, as Kendra is standing on the platform ready to go about her day, Andrew Goldstein walks up behind her. She's close to the platform edge, and as the speeding subway train arrives, Andrew pushes Kendra onto the tracks. Not just pushes her, but actually physically lifts her and throws her on to the tracks in front of the speeding subway. And this is out of nowhere. This is with no warning. She hasn't got a second to try and save herself. He pushes her, and the train instantly kills her. Now, there are hundreds of other people standing on the platform, and they're all in complete shock. Andrew is wrestled to the ground by members of the public while police are called. So when police arrive, he is taken away. Now, that's obviously horrific. It's just horrific. Just an innocent woman standing on the platform, going to work, and she's thrown in front of a train. And it makes the news. And it's big, this story. It's huge. And the question, of course, is why? Why did he do it? What is the reason? Why is the question. What causes someone to act like that? So when it comes to the trial, and bear in mind here, hundreds of people have witnessed it, you'd think, well, there's no two ways about it. There's nothing you can do here because hundreds of people witnessed it. Andrew has a defence ready. And it's a common one. It's one that we all know well and we hear all the time. And it's mental health. Now, I'm not dismissing that. I'm not dismissing that someone's mental health causes them to do something. Fuck's sake, I've told so many stories on this podcast where a person's mental health has actually been at the centre of all the problems. But there are so many court cases that lead with the defendant was suffering from mental health as if that's a way to get out of it. And that's, I mean, what a big, huge area you're wandering into there. Because then you're looking at going, oh, how severe was the mental health? How in control was the mental health? And that's all of the stuff that plays into this story. Andrew's defence team claim that he had been suffering from mental health for years and that the state hadn't supported him correctly and that led to him throwing a woman in front of a train. Now, like I said, the insanity, the mental health defence, it's really common. And it doesn't fly in court, really, without it having to have some sort of validity. There has to be something. A court just won't accept that a person says, oh, I'm insane. Maybe years ago they would have, but now it needs proof. This was the 90s. By that time, you still needed proof. You still needed to be able to say, you can't just say, I'm insane. The old insanity thing was really coming under scrutiny. So there's a doctor brought in. And in this case, he can prove that in fact Andrew was suffering from mental health issues. He was suffering from depression. There was possibly little bits of the starts of schizophrenia happening in Andrew. And also they're able to say, well, he was let out of a facility with no care beyond being let out. Now that's all true. That's all entirely true. And this is where it gets really, really messy, because his defence team decide, and this is bonkers. They decide to take Andrew off his medication. Take him off his medication and let him become a little bit unhinged. This is the thinking behind it. If we can put him on the stand when he's not got his medication, everyone will see just how crazy he is. And he will get away with this murder. Because we'll be able to say, look, this guy sitting here in court, we can all see it. Jury, you can see it. Judge, you can see it. Everyone in this court can see it. This guy is crazy. He didn't mean to push her in front of that train. He just, it was a moment of insanity. You can see this. And all because his defence team were like, stop taking your medication. But it's a ridiculous idea. It's ridiculous. They take him off the medication, and here's what happens. He actually, in court, one day, loses the plot. He goes nuts, and he punches a juror in the face. The judge steps in at this point and asks, what the hell is actually going on? The defence team have to admit to the judge that they've said, stop taking your medication, and the judge orders that he is put back on it straight away. I mean, that can't be right, can it? Surely you've got to be fucking struck off for something like that. You cannot take a mentally ill person. You can't take them off their medication just so they look crazy in court. That's so... I mean, what? What the hell? Oh, are you kidding? So back on medication Right, the defence are like, shit, it's not worked. It's not worked. Right, we need to do something else. So what they do is they create this crazy storm around. Actually, this is the fault of other people because he hasn't been treated properly. He should have been someone in the community or a facility should have been watching Andrew all the time, and they weren't. So by now the jury are a bit confused. They're like, look, we're just getting lots of different things. You took him off the medication to make him seem crazy. Now you're telling us that it's everybody else's fault that he's crazy. What's actually happening? Andrew ends up going through 3 separate trials. In the first one, the one I just mentioned, with the come off your medication, the whole thing gets overturned because it's a mess. Because it's just an absolute disaster. So, that one, that just gets written off. In the second trial, the defence team tell him to plead insanity. He says, I'm completely innocent of this. I didn't know what I was doing. It's just that I had a moment of insanity and I pushed her in front of the train. The jury, they can't reach a verdict because they don't really know if that's true. A lot of jurors will at that point say, I'm not sure I actually believe that he didn't know what he was doing. The whole thing has become murky and messy. So, nothing happens with the second trial. There's no verdict is reached. In the third trial, Andrew has a brand new defence team. And his defence team give him this advice. They say to him, just be honest now. Just actually go in to the courtroom, go up, take the stand and be honest. And he does. And this is what he says when he's honest. He says, I actually knew exactly what I was doing on that day. When I walked into that subway, I saw her standing next to the platform, and I decided minutes before the train was going to arrive that I was going to throw her in front of it. Why I did it, I don't know, but I know that I consciously chose to do it. He says, forget me saying that I was ever insane. He says, yeah, I have mental health issues, but I knew what I was doing that day on the subway platform. Andrew Goldstein is still in prison to this day for the murder of Kendra. What this whole thing brought about was something called Kendra's Law, which was something that was brought in to basically make sure that anyone who has ever suffered a mental health issue and is discharged from a facility is being monitored and being helped, and that nobody who leaves a facility is left to just wander without any kind of help. From this one story, there is now care put in place which costs around $27 billion a year in the USA to ensure that a crime like this is less likely to happen in the future. The defence team who convinced Andrew to stop taking medication in order to appear more crazy in court were suspended for 2 years for bad practice. And so ends that one. It's a twisty and a turny one. Okay, there's 2 more little short stories, and these are shockers. Would you know what I meant if I used the word affluenza? That word again? Affluenza. Nah, me neither. I hadn't heard it. Until I started researching. It's a mix of 2 words created by a defence team in Texas. And it mixes the 2 words influence and affluence. It was applied for the first time in 2013 when Ethan Couch, a teenager from a very, very, very wealthy family in Texas, was driving his car wasted out of his face. And I mean wasted. He was drunk. He'd taken pills. He'd smoked some marijuana. And he was speeding in a really powerful, expensive truck through the streets of Texas. Now, a short distance away from where he was travelling, a car had stalled in the road nearby. And the female driver of the car, she was trying to get it started again with the help of 3 other people. A very kindly neighbour had come out and had brought her young daughter, and a youth minister had also stopped by to help. So here's the 4 of them. They're trying to get this car started again when a speeding, drunk Ethan Couch comes round the corner in his truck, out of his face, and before he can stop the car, he hits them at high speed and he kills all 4 of them instantly. The woman whose car had stalled and the 3 helpers lay dead in the street. In Ethan's truck were 7 passengers. They were injured and one of them was paralysed for life in the crash. So, a horrific, devastating scene. Now, as I said, Ethan's family, well, they were wealthy. And they hired a big defence team. Now, I'm sure you're probably thinking what I was thinking at this point. How in the hell is anyone going to get out of this? I mean, he's clearly to blame. He is clearly to blame. Well, in court, his expensive defence team, they introduced the term affluenza. Again, a mix of affluence and influence. But what does it mean? What does it actually mean when you break it down? Well, it means this. Basically, what the defence were trying to say is Ethan is so privileged that he couldn't possibly be responsible for his actions because he has grown up to believe that money can fix everything. He has absolutely no awareness of what he's doing because he's been brought up to think he's almost invincible because of the wealth in his family. Right, now you're probably thinking like I am, which is bullshit. Bull fucking shit. What absolute nonsense. What absolute shit. But it works. It actually works. There is no jury involved in this. A judge hears the case, and this is the sentencing. Time in a rehabilitation centre and an order to stay away from alcohol and drugs. Are you joking? Are you fucking joking? He killed 4 innocent people. He paralysed another. And he's given time in a fucking rehab clinic. And this is the worst bit of it. This is the actual worst bit of it. His mum and dad's punishment in this is to pay for the rehab facility. So where do they send him? They send him to like the most expensive rehab facility in the whole of Texas, where he spends a year getting off of alcohol and he's not even really got a fucking alcohol problem. He's not even really got a drug problem. He just was a wee dickhead 17-year-old one night who drank too much, thought he was wide, thought he was fucking brilliant, took a truck, drove and killed 4 fucking people, and now that's his punishment. His punishment is to go for a year to a fucking fancy fucking pants rehab clinic. Are you kidding? Are you actually kidding? Ugh, no jail time, nothing. Can you imagine how much of a field day the press had with this? Because it is insanity. It's just madness. Affluenza. That word even just makes me want to fucking vomit. Affluenza, it's not a defence. It's not. It's just so stupid. It's just saying, well, basically he's just so privileged that he just can't understand that he's killed 4 people. He's so rich, he doesn't understand the ways of what he's... Oh my God. But right now, Ethan is walking around his life, no jail time, no real consequence, and all because of that weird defence. Okay, it's the final one. Now, this could be potentially triggering. It could be. And when I read it, I just kind of couldn't believe it, and that's why I want to tell it. So, because I just think it's another case where a defence is just appalling. But it could be potentially triggering for some people. I'm just warning you. The female in this case hasn't ever been named publicly, so for the sake of the story, I'm going to call her Rachel. So Rachel is in her mid-20s, and she's at a party. This is California. This is 1997. The party is at a friend's house, and there are plenty of people there, and there's plenty of alcohol going around. Now, Rachel gets a bit drunk, as we all do at a party. Well, I know what I do. And she falls asleep on the sofa. So quite harmless, yeah? Well, no. Rachel wakes up in the middle of the night. The house that she's come to for the party, it's dark. She wakes up, she's disorientated, but the thing that wakes her up is that a figure is pressing down on her. Horrifically, Rachel realises that she's being raped. So she reacts by pushing her rapist off of her, off the sofa, and he lands on the floor. The man rushes out of the room, and Rachel quickly raises the alarm, and police are called. Her rapist was Jan Luridecci, who had been at the party also, and had had a lot to drink that night. Jan is arrested, he's taken to jail, and he's charged with rape. Okay, so this sounds like it's going to be an open and shut case. He raped her. He needs to go to prison. That's it. But the defence. The defence. Jan's defence team claimed that Jan was suffering that evening from something called parasomnia, a condition in which people do weird things in their sleep. So kind of akin to sleepwalking. Jan claims he remembers nothing of the evening until he was pushed from the sofa to the floor, and he immediately ran to the bathroom to discover that he was wearing a condom. He has no memory of putting a condom on, and no memory of penetrating Rachel and of having sex. Now, there was outrage. Quite right. Fucking outrage at this defence. People were livid that this was allowed to be used in court. Now we know, because I've mentioned it before, sleepwalking related things have happened. Crimes have happened in this way. But a sleep rape, that's new. That was new. Like, what? Like, no. Okay, people have said before, oh, I don't remember stabbing her 18 times in the arm. I was asleep. But a sleep rape is something different. But experts actually come into the court and they testify to say sleep sex is actually something very common. It actually happens to us all. And we don't know it's happening because we're asleep. I'm pretty sure I've not had sleep sex. I've had a lot of sex. Don't think I've had a lot of sleep sex in my life. Anyway. That's what these experts will say in court. Anyway, does this defence stand up in court? And does Jan get away with it? Yes and yes. The judge rules that Jan was indeed asleep when he raped Rachel, and the entire case is dropped. Rachel, the victim, is still fighting to have the court case taken to the Canadian Supreme Court. And so ends another set of crazy defence stories. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed the second episode of the crazy defences. Yeah, they really fascinate me. I don't know why, but I'm absolutely obsessed with them at the moment. I cannot get enough of people who have used bizarre defences. I just think it's insane. I think it's because I love one of the things that I really love about true crime, and I know that I don't always do true crime stories. I think one of the things that I really love about true crime stories is I love the sort of fiction that happens when things go to court. Like, if I'm thinking about mentioning it again, but the Menendez brothers. I mean, like, that was a play, that was a pantomime, that was a fucking show they put on in that courtroom, to try and get those guys off. If you go to even like someone like Ted Bundy, see if you go on YouTube and you watch Ted Bundy in court defending himself, it's a circus. It's fucking brilliant. It's absolutely amazing. It's just, I get really intrigued by the lengths, I think, that people will go to defend someone, be it saying, it couldn't possibly be me, my boobs were too big, it couldn't possibly be me, I was asleep. Do you know what I mean? The whole range of that just absolutely fucking fascinates me. So that's why I'm really interested in this subject at the moment. Anyway, okay. That's really it from me, but if you do want to get in touch, please do. You can join the Facebook group, you can like the Facebook page, you can find me on Twitter, on Instagram, you can email me, extraordinarystoriespodcast@gmail.com. Okay? Well, thank you for listening, and until the next time, okay, goodbye.
It didn't affect me really one way or the other. I would imagine from the look on his face, let's get it on, let's do it, let's get it over. Let's get it on, let's do it, let's get it over.